Good afternoon, everybody. This is Charlotte Bergman, your host for Political Talk with Charlotte. Thanks for joining me. Oh, my goodness. Thank you for joining me. We've got a great show for you. One particular subject I didn't add in the title because it's more historical, but I think it's information you need to know as you go forward and interact with various people in the community. So, without further ado, let's get. All right, this is not our normal time for the Political Talk with Charlotte show, but that's okay. We've got news anyway, and we want to share it with you. How many of you have heard about the encounter of the NAACP with the Memphis NAACP with the Memphis Light, Gas, and Water Division? It's one of the things that we want to talk about. But before I get started, I'm your host. Our show airs every Thursday. Help me to grow this show because we have information that can be shared with a number of people, and only you can help. I think we have some comments already from some friends. Ah, well, looky here. I'm glad you're here, Noni. Thank you. I hope you're going to enjoy this show. We're going to start out talking about some very interesting things, and hopefully they will be beneficial to you. But before we get started, in our show notes below, you have my email address, my 2 Facebook address accounts, my Bitchute account, Twitter account, YouTube, and we are about to make some changes to the show, and you may see some more popular, famous people on the show than me. And I'm excited about that. Now, if you're new to the channel, leave a comment and or subscribe to my channel on YouTube and Rumble. Help us to grow. Guys, you don't know how much I truly love you. I really do. I truly love you because I realize how truly smart you are. And the information that I'm sharing with many of you, you already know it. I truly appreciate you, but I do count on you to comment and share my videos because as you comment and share, that changes the algorithm so that more people will have access to the show. They'll go, people are paying attention. I think I better too. Now, I just want to remind you about my book, The Last Trumpet in the Battle for America. If you hadn't gotten it yet, get it. This interview, this show is about, it's the economy, stupid. But before we get to the economy, because it blew my mind what I discovered about the economy, I want to talk about exposing the Memphis shakedown. And I use that term very, very strategically, and it's a truthful term. You see, we have a state representative, Justin J. Pearson, and his brother, Keyshawn Pearson, who is with the MCAP, is a lead race baiting person. And there's a plot to sabotage Elon Musk XAI Colossus supercomputer. They together are working with a number of other people to sabotage XAI out of Memphis. They're claiming that the Memphis Light, Gas, and Water is hiding government grants while ignoring real polluters. Let me tell you guys something. From my perspective, this is a Marxist power grab, a Marxist cash grab. Because, see, they are aligning themselves with none other than Al Race Baden Sharpton. He's had many years of experience shaking down companies. He shakes down companies. I've got an article I'm going to share with you about him. He's supposed to be a pastor, but he's going to rot in the pit of hell if he does not repent of his sins. Al Sharpton has had many years of shaken down company, and you know what? He gets kickbacks through intimidation. I went to a store last week, and as I was walking out of the store, I saw a lady that I recognized, and we spoke. And then she said, I'm getting out of Whitehaven because Elon Musk is polluting us. I'm going to sell my house. And I said, don't do that. Because here's the thing, they are trying to set this company up to fail. And I guarantee you, as we won't allow it to fail. See, what her response is typical of what they want. They want her to get so scared, sell her house, pennies on the dollar, so that she won't have a house. She'll have a little bit of money, but it won't be enough. It won't be enough to put on a house somewhere else in a nice area. So the NAACP is working with State Representative Justin Pearson and his brother, Keyshawn Pearson. And they are crooked as hell. Sorry, I have to use that term. And the reason for that is this. They're hiding behind the NAACP. And what most people don't understand about the NAACP was that it was founded in 1909 specifically to fight for equality and against racial discrimination. This is after Frederick Douglass and President Abraham Lincoln put their reputations and lives on the line to fight for equality and racial discrimination to free the slaves. And that's what happened. You can argue, you can debate that point all you want, but what actually happened was the slaves were free. Emancipation Proclamation was what actually was the tool used to free the slaves. The NAACP was organized, and it was the largest civil rights organization. And there was a protest in 1917 to combat racial injustices in America. So I did my due diligence, and I was looking at some facts about the NAACP. And what I noticed is they included several people as founders of the NAACP. There is a key figure. Guys, there is a key figure. His name is James Weldon Johnson. They chose to leave him out as one of the key founders. Why? I'll tell you in a moment. They listed E.W. Du Bois, they listed Ida Wells, and a few other people. The reason they left James Weldon Johnson out was because he was a Republican. He was a man of many talents. Not only was he a distinguished lawyer and a diplomat, he served as executive secretary of the NAACP from the beginning, from 1909. He served from the beginning. These other people latched on later doing various conferences. But James Weldon Johnson was there from the beginning in 1909. And the mainstream, the media, Google, they have changed the algorithm to leave him out, which I'm sure a lot of radicals want him left out because he was a Republican. But that's who was involved initially with the creation of the NAACP. As I said, he was executive secretary of the NAACP for a decade. And guess what? Most people don't want you to know this, but he was also the composer who wrote the lyrics for Lift Every Voice and Sing, known as the Black National Anthem. That came from a Republican. Ida B. Wells' name was excluded from the original list of founders. So according to Google, they're saying Ida B. Wells was the founder. She didn't want to be involved. And that comes from Du Bois. He put that in his autobiography, Dusk of Dawn. He says, Wells chose not to be included. She didn't want to be involved with the original organization of the NAACP. But they're saying if you do a Google search, she's listed as one of the original founders. Why? Because she's conveniently Democrat. There were dozens of civil rights supporters that started the NAACP. And guess what, guys? Not only were there blacks that were supporters, that were the original supporters, there were also whites. Yeah, they were white. The executive officers of the NAAC included Mary White Overton. She was white. Charles Edward Russell. He was white. William English Walden. He was white. And the NAACP's first president was Moorfield Story. You won't see that in Google or many of the searches that you may attempt to use in order to find out about the origin of the NAACP. Now, moving forward to Sharpton and these Pearson brothers, rumor has it, and I'm going to say rumor has it, that Al Sharpton is planning to come to Memphis. Why? To go after the XAI facility. How does Sharpton get paid? Well, Sharpton gets paid when he goes to these companies. He gets paid to not cry racism at corporations. His typical shakedown mechanism is making the corporations pay him in cash or power. And once they do that, they buy his support or his silence. I don't think Elon Musk is going to fall for that. Al Sharpton has enriched himself and his NAN organization for years by threatening companies with bad publicity if they didn't come to terms with him. Put simply, Al Sharpton specializes in shakedowns. So when he comes to Memphis, understand he's coming here to pad his pockets. And probably the Pearson boys are padding their pockets too, especially with the climate change people. So let me share this with you. Just recently, the Memphis Light, Gas, and Water Division chose to push back from an NAACP criticism of the utility's XAI approach. The Memphis Light, Gas, and Water Division CEO said that their criticism was totally baseless. The leader of the largest utility provider in Shelby County, which is Memphis Light, Gas, and Water, is responding to a letter that 3 NAACP members addressed to the Utility and Health Department, urging them to shut down the XAI data center in South Memphis. This is about power and money, guys. But to share this with you, Memphis needs the XAI facility. We're tired of people being poor and homeless and without a way of earning a good living. We're tired of that. Memphis needs this. As I said, according to 14 hours ago, says Al Sharpton is heading up the XAI group and asked to rescind the shutdown order. The only reason this group of nitwits opposes it is because it is Elon Musk's project. But Elon Musk's project will benefit Memphis. We got to realize that Memphis is located in the best location in the United States because it has I-40 going through it from east to west and I-55 going through it from north to south. I mean, you could not ask for a better distribution route than those that are provided. So let's see what happens. Let's see whether the Pearsons and Al Sharptons are going to be shut down. My bet is that they don't know who they're playing with. And I'm going to share with you guys, my friends. Al Sharpton and the Pearsons and people like that are able to get away with these shakedowns. Why? Because people are afraid to be associated with that word racism. Get over it. Get over it. It is a well-worn word, and our community is suffering as a result of the fear that people have of that word associated with racism. Get over it. Now, the other thing I want to mention, I hope you're still there, Nani. Yes, you are. Um, the other thing I want to mention, and this was what I intended to talk about initially, guys, you guys won't believe what is happening. Our country is getting prosperous again. Yeah, those tariffs are working. Yeah, the getting rid of people who don't belong here in this country is working. Yes, inflation is being reduced. The price of gas is coming down. I understand eggs have come down 60%, but we have liberal we have liberal posters, and they are really, really concerned about what they're seeing in terms of how people are perceiving the work that President Donald Trump is doing. But decades polls showed Democrats had a double digit edge on the party who looked out for the party of the middle class. What Justin Pearson and Al Sharpton is doing is not looking out for the ability for people to get out of poverty. They want to shake down XAI. Polls now show that the GOP and Trump have totally eliminated that gap. This comes as the GOP maintains a 10-point lead on the economy. And this is after 4 months of Trump. They were expecting Trump to fail. It ain't happening, guys. Let me share it with you all. I hope I can share this. Apparently I can't. So let me connect it. I want to share this with you guys so bad. This is so funny. Okay, here it is. Now let me get started. And don't laugh too hard.
Yeah, you would think after all of the waves, Kate Baldwin, after the last few months, the first 5 months of the Donald Trump presidency, right, the first 4 months of the Donald Trump presidency, that you expect that Democrats would have this massive lead on the economy. It ain't so. It ain't so. The party that is closest to your economic views, in November of 2023, it was the Republicans by 11 points. Now it's still within that range, still within that margin of error. Plus 8-point advantage for the Republican Party. How is that possible, Democrats? How is that possible after all the recession fears, after the stock market's been doing all of this, after all the tariffs that Americans are against, and Republicans still hold an 8-point lead on the economy? Are you kidding me?
This is new CNN polling.
Yes.
How is that, when we look for trends, how is that trending with other data that you're pulling in?
Yeah, if it was just this one CNN poll, that would be one thing. But take a look at Reuters Ipsos. What do we see here? Party with a better economic plan. Well, in May of 2024, just before Donald Trump was reelected president, Republicans had a 9-point advantage. Look at where we are now in May of 2025. The advantage actually went up by 3 points. Now Republicans have a 12-point advantage when it comes to the party with a better economic plan. And again, this is after months of supposed economic uncertainty in which the stock market's been going bonkers, in which the tariff wars that Americans are against have been going on. And yet, despite all of that, the Democrats are down by 12 points on the economy. This speaks to Democratic problems on the economy better than basically anything that you could possibly look at. The Republicans still hold an advantage on the all-important key issue of the day, and that is the reason why, even if Donald Trump's approval ratings are a little bit lower than they used to be, Republicans are not out of the ballgame because they still have a clear advantage on the economy, whether you look at CNN's polls or whether you look at the Ipsos poll right here, in which they have a 12-point advantage on the economy, Kate.
And also in the CNN data, it does show that Republicans are gaining ground in an area that is key relating to all of this, which is when it comes to the middle class.
Yeah. You know, historically speaking, which is the party of the middle class has been a huge advantage for Democrats. I have polling from NBC going all the way back since 1989 when Democrats had a 23-point advantage. 2016, a 17-point advantage. But by this decade, we already started seeing declines back in 2022, where you saw that Democrats led, but only by 4 points, well within the margin of error. And now in our latest CNN poll among registered voters, which is the party of the middle class, it is tied. This, I think, speaks to Democratic ills more than anything else. They have traditionally been the party of the middle class. No more. Donald Trump and the Republican Party have taken that mantle away, and now a key advantage for Democrats historically has gone adios amigos, and now there is no party that is the party of the middle class. Republicans have completely closed the gap, Kate.
All right, there's a lot of messages and a lot to be learned.
All right, guys, there you have it. There you have it. People are waking up and are understanding that they want to support a party that has their backs. And I believe that Republicans are going to get the message out that they have the people's backs, especially when people realize, especially waiters and waitresses, when they're at work, and they won't have to pay taxes on the tips that they get. They won't have to pay taxes on overtime. They won't have to pay taxes on things like if they go and purchase a car. If that car is made in the United States, they can file on their income taxes, and they can take credit for that on their income taxes. So, I mean, you can't beat that, guys. There are so many people like Barbara Celeste. I don't know what her concern is. I'd like for her to respond. She says, I'm so wrong. I want her to prove to me where I'm wrong, because right now, where I'm sitting now, I'm telling you the truth. Now, if she chooses to believe otherwise, that's her business, but it's not going to change the truth that I'm telling. So anyway, that's my show for today. I want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to join me. And hey, guys, I see great things happening in our nation. Thus, I see great things happening in Memphis. We are going to thrive, and we're going to get better and better. So anyway, my next show is on Thursday. Hope you will join me, and hope you will share this video with someone that needs to hear the truth. And you can reject the truth if you want. That's your right. This is what is so great about the United States. But it's the truth. I'm not going to take it back. I'll let truth stand for itself. Thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you Thursday. Bye.